Hello, friends. So I am here to talk about, this is my second video on feeling is healing and why we don't feel, why we are avoiding feeling, how this may have started, and what do we do to bring back sensation to our body. Okay, so in a lot of ways, what I do is I bridge the gap between what I do with my clients and on this channel and everything that I post about is bridging the gap between your higher self, your wounded self, or your traumatized self, and your somatic body. And so why is that really important for us to somatic, by the way, means physical, our physical body. So why is it important to focus on the physical body? Why can't we just transcend everything? Everything bad we feel, everything we don't like, every pain and emotion we have around experiences. Why can't we just work with the mind, Selden, and transcend all of these uncomfortable sensations, emotions, feelings? The reason is because that is, in its fullest form, a bypass. And whenever we bypass, it's a hack. It's a hack to real deep healing, okay? And the real deep healing has to go to the roots of what, and the hard stuff of what is happening and what is being experienced in this human body. What I've seen with people with a lot of trauma who try to only work with the mind is there ends up being a spiral of shame, judgment, and guilt when they either can't just change their mindset and their wounded part that has been shamed and ridiculed as a little one, that self-talk that they learned as a little one overpowers their ability to change their mindset and can actually bring on more victimization and more shame and more guilt and more symptoms. I have seen this and I have personally experienced it, okay, before I started working with the body. The mind is also tricky. The mind, there's a lot of different ways that we can interpret, that we can, I almost even think like on a spiritual level, the mind can be infiltrated. But the body and the sensation and the felt senses of the body cannot. It is unmistakable. And so, in my opinion, it's a clearer picture of where the trauma is, what's being held, and whatever that is, what that feels like in the body, to the body. And once we establish the sensation of where a trauma is, and we actually can feel it in the body. I'm going to my heart because a lot of times it's there in that chest, but it can be in the joints. It can be in the organs, any of the organs. It can certainly be in the hip joints, very common. It can be in the back. It can be in those adrenal glands and the liver. It can be in the throat. I had a ton of trauma in my throat, could not speak for a long time. My truth. And so what happens when we start to get in touch with that, where that trauma is held and the sensation, we can feel better the emotion under the sensation. right? So a lot of times with my clients, I can feel a heaviness on the chest. A lot of times that is grief and abandonment that is there. This helps us be able to identify the trauma based on the sensation. Working with the mind, we can get caught in a story and the loop rather than what is actually taking place, currently. The story and the loop is not the loop certainly, but the story of the experience and what happened is not the means to your healing. We actually don't need to know the full story of what happened. Sometimes it's helpful, but we don't have to know when we're working with a body. And so that's another reason why working with the body is so important. But to kind of go back, the sensations are so important. Feeling is healing, because without the felt sense, again, we're bypassing. And when we think of this on like a spiritual plane, a spiritual perspective, our soul took a human form. Why? Why did our soul take a human form? Did your soul, and really truly ask yourself this question, because this could be different for everybody, but for those of us who are suffering with some chronic symptoms, for those of us who have experienced trauma in this life, and those of us who are on a healing journey, which I think is the majority of the audience that I'm speaking to right now, and myself included, your soul, why did your soul take a physical vessel to have the experience that you had? Why did you choose the parents that you chose potentially? Why did you choose the setting, the situation, the unit that you came into, if you believe you chose it, right? Or why did that? I don't believe anything happens to us. I think everything happens for us. And so why would that have happened for you if you could take that perspective? And what is the physical body? What does the physical body have to do with it? So the physical body experiences pain that the soul does not. And because of this pain, we are able to heal and evolve as souls much faster in a physical vessel than we are in the spiritual dimensions, realms. And so the physicality and the density of our body is important for our healing. Feeling and sensing all of the things that the human experience has to offer us is just that, an offering. It's a gift, as hard and as difficult and as painful as this experience can be, especially if we're dealing with trauma. I get it. And also, it is through that experience that we are able to evolve. Again, faster here than we can in the spirit world. And so when we are sort of living in our more upper chakras, let's say our third eye, even our eighth chakra, which is just outside of it's like up here. So 6, 7, 8. And we have no connection to those lower chakras. We are bypassing a human experience that is vital to our growth and our evolution as a soul. So a lot of people, most people, when they first embark on this journey, they start this meditation and the breath work, and some people get into ayahuasca and all of this. those modalities, while they have their purpose and they have their benefit to certain people, certainly some more than others, what I see a lot is the desire to fill this need to escape the body through those modalities. And the people that I know who have done real somatic nervous system and embodiment practices, where the nervous system becomes regulated and the body feels safe again, and the body is the experience of trust of the physical body to heal itself by actually feeling and being in the body in a grounded, present, connected way. The healing of these people is much deeper, again, through my experience, than people who are always transcending. Some people, transcending and working with the mind is enough. And from what I have noticed, those people had secure attachment. Sorry, my dog is barking. Those people had good early child developmental, connection with a caregiver. They had generally safe environments where they grew up. Everybody is different. And so for those of us who we didn't have safe environments growing up and our environment couldn't be trusted, in order for us to get to that part where we might be able to transcend, where we can feel trauma actually moving through our body, regulation and safety and trust have to be on board. They are foundational for healing, because we have become very comfortable and familiar with this sort of floating sensation where we're out of our bodies, where we're living in these upper chakras and we can't feel sort of the density, the gravity even of our bodies and the environment and the world and the earth around us. In order for us to move trauma, that safety and that presence and that trust of the human body, of the human experience, of the felt senses, the uncomfortable senses that we don't want to feel. As I have healed and become more regulated, what I've noticed is the trust that I have in my body to self-heal is massive, which means fear and anxiety and this disconnected feeling, that floating sort of sensation that I'm talking about. Those things don't impact my healing like they once did. And when we're working with the mind, and only the mind and not the physicality, the body, the felt senses of the body, we are still in this energy up here rather than down here. Feeling is vital. It's like that saying, we have to go through. We can't go around it. When our trauma is such a significant and vital part of our healing, then we have to go through it. We have to go through it. And I do think it depends on how much of that you have, right? And certainly some modalities work better for some people than other modalities. The people that I've seen that nervous system regulation and feeling the body again and getting back into the somatic body and healing trauma through the somatic body and the somatic experience and the felt senses, the people who I've known that has not worked for are the people who are scared. They're scared to feel. They don't want to go there. Those people don't want to go there. And they're so dysregulated that they miss the subtle and minuscule moments of connection that they are actually able to have. It's almost like a lock where you find it and it's like a, right? And you feel it, and it might only be a second, but you feel it, and then you might float out again, right? Because it's scary. Most of us have gone our entire lives and we have avoided ourselves. We have avoided what our body's physical sensation and emotion and what is deep down in there causing us illness and disease. We have avoided that. And we do every single modality that there is that we can do to continue to avoid that. And so the people who I know this work has not landed with are the people that just can't go there. They are terrified of what they will feel, what they will discover. And so I don't want that to be you, right? However, I do think that it's important to work with a practitioner because these sensations can be very overwhelming. And once we start to feel again, we unlock parts of ourselves that we haven't felt in a very long time. And that can be compacted with a lot of experiences. And sometimes things can get released a lot at once. And so when we're working with a practitioner, if they're good, they should help you. I am one, by the way, to titrate these sensations so that you're feeling again in these little bits that are tolerable, that are manageable. And then the practitioner should help to teach you how to resource yourself, how to soothe yourself, how to connect back to your environment for safety. And it's a training, really. It's a deprogramming that happens with the right person. Really packed with a lot of useful information and important information. If you have questions or comments, please leave that below. And I hope this finds you really, really well. And I'll see you at the next video. Bye.